Hey everybody, it's Jason from the Texas Gun Vault, and today I think I'm going to make the first iteration in this Sig P320 build I was talking about. I recently made an unboxing video where I told you that I purchased one of the Sig fire control units, and of course, I mentioned this is the serialized part of the gun, and one of the big advantages to the P320 is that it is a modular design. So every other part of the gun, including the frame, is an unregulated part. So I bought the fire control unit, and this is something that I really want to build into multiple guns. I really want to take the advantages of this modular design and be able to test and review a number of different products. So I've kind of mapped out the types of pistols that I want to be able to build, and of course use the same fire control unit going from 1 to 1. And this is going to be kind of the first iteration of this. So I picked up what I hope is going to be the parts to building my first pistol here with this fire control unit. I'll talk about each one of these items that I chose, and hopefully they're all going to work, because I will say one of the downsides to the P320, if you're going to buy all these different aftermarket parts, is that some of them are very different. Not every frame accepts all the same types of magazines. Sometimes the barrels are designed for a loaded chamber indicator. Sometimes they're not. Same thing goes with the different types of slides. Then those different slide lengths won't necessarily match up with the different frames. So I had to do a little bit of research. Now, the reason I say this is kind of a downside to this design is if you're not very careful, you have so many options and you can end up buying the wrong part. So we're going to see if I did a good job. So obviously we're going to start here with the fire control group. I'm going to set this aside for right now. So we're going to start off with the frame. And as you can see, I chose the P320 TXG heavy grip module. So this is the one that's supposed to be tungsten infused. So it's supposed to have the weight of a metal frame, but the flexibility of a polymer frame. And I went with the compact length. So I guess it's a full-size grip with a compact length frame. So I'll be able to use a shorter slide on this. I actually bought a full-length slide for this project, but I should be able to use both. So let's go ahead and open this thing up and let's see what it looks like. All right. Now, I've handled one of these tungsten infused frames before at a gun shop, and I gotta say it definitely feels heavy. It has the texture of polymer, but it is heavy. You realize this is one thick frame, so I kind of like it. The idea behind this is that it's supposed to be more weighty to absorb more recoil. So everything on it looks to be pretty good. No problems with that. I'm going to wipe everything down before I assemble everything. I guess we'll go with the slide next. Now, the slide that I chose was a coyote tan to kind of match the fire control unit. This is the Pro Cut slide, and it's the longest 4.7 inches, so it will go out beyond the end of the frame, but it does have a dust cover on the bottom of the slide. It does have a few lightning cuts. This slide is not designed to have a loaded chamber indicator, but is milled out to accept a red dot. And supposedly the whole slide is assembled, which means that you can have the sights and I believe the firing pin and the other parts that go in the upper. That's the way that I read it on the website, so we'll find out if I am right or if I'm going to have to be ordering some more parts. As I said, not everything is clear on the website of what comes with each item. All right, so Sig Sauer P320 Pro Cut slide, and here it is. And it looks just like it did on the website. Yep, it has all of the small parts in it. It has the sights, has the firing pin, all the firing pin safety, the extractor, and the back plate. So it looks like we're good to go. So that's the slide that I chose for this particular build. Let's move this over to the side here. Then next up, I went with a threaded barrel, and this is supposed to be long enough to go through this slide and stick out far enough for the threads, and it shouldn't have a loaded chamber indicator, which it does not, and the slide does not either. So hopefully that is all going to fit. It looks like it will from just looking at it here from the top. And hopefully I bought the correct recoil spring assembly. So this is supposed to be for a full-sized P320. So there is that. So with all of these items together, I should have all the parts to assemble this pistol. All right, so I'm going to wipe all this stuff down, kind of oil some parts, and then we're going to assemble. All right, so I wiped down and inspected all the parts we have here, and I do have to say I am very disappointed with the slide. It is not that I don't think it is well built or it's not going to work, and it was obviously test fired from the factory, but man, did they not clean it. This thing looked like it had probably 50 rounds through it, and it was scratched up under here. Obviously, this is where it ran on the ejector, and it had some scratches up here on the front of the dust cover. Now, I understand that this is typical wear, and after I start using it, it's going to show the same wear patterns. However, when you spend this much money on a slide, I kind of expect it to come a little bit nicer from the factory than this. So a little bit disappointed with how this turned out. I was able to clean it up for the most part, but it does not look new at all. As I said, I got some scratches up here and some scratches under here. Nothing that I'm too worried about, but yeah, I'm just a little bit disappointed with that. All right, so let's go ahead and start putting this thing together. We got the frame here, we got the fire control unit. Now I haven't installed one of these in a while, so I gotta remember how to do it. I think you gotta put the trigger in first down, then it goes in and slides back, push all the way back, and then it should drop right in, and I think we're good with that. Then there's this pesky takedown lever. These are always difficult for me to install, so let's see if I can figure out how it needs to go in here. As I said, it's been a while since I've used this type of pistol. I know I've taken down my M17 and my M18 before, and I know there's like a little bit of a trick to it, so let me fiddle around with it here for a minute. All right, so there it finally went. Now I just got to get it through the other side. As I said, I've always had problems with these, and I'm sure there's people that can do it really fast, but I've just never been fortunate enough to figure it out. All right. All right, so I had to use my trusty little rawhide hammer there to get it in all the way, but I think we are good. All right. So I guess the whole frame is now together. I like that. All right, so let's put the slide together. Let's take out the thread protector and let's see if this thing's going to fit in the slide. Well, so far so good. Recoil spring. Yep, that works like it's supposed to, so I guess we're good to go. Let me adjust it here. I'm a little OCD and I like to have the recoil spring perfectly centered in the slide here. All right, there we go. That looks right. Put the thread protector back on. All right, so now the moment of truth. Will this thing actually work and fit together? Well, so far it is. So let's see. All right. And it works. All right, so the gun's together. I think I like the colors of it. You guys know that I like the flat dark earth. Of course, I was going to go with the threaded barrel because I love suppressors. And it seems to match the fire control unit pretty well. There's a little bit of a difference in color here. This is a little bit more gold, where that's more tan. But I like how it contrasts with the gray frame. All right, so obviously the gun is safety checked. Let me go ahead and pull the trigger on this. Make sure it does go snap when I pull it. Yep. And it should reset. And it does. All right, so I can tell you from just putting this together, it definitely feels like it's a brand new gun. It definitely needs to be worn in a little bit. And as I mentioned, the only thing that I'm disappointed with is the slide. Not because I think it's poor quality, but whenever they finished this and maybe test fired it, it just got a little bit scratched up. But otherwise, everything on this looks pretty good. So you guys will be getting a range report with this as soon as I can get it out. But what do you guys think? This is kind of the first iteration. Full-size frame, threaded barrel with a compact tungsten frame and the fire control unit. So there you go. Kind of an interesting looking gun, but I think I like it. All right, so let me know what you guys think in the comment section below. And when I get other parts, other frames, other slides, I'll review those, unbox them, and we'll kind of change it out and really use this modular design to its full advantage. So, as always, thanks for watching.